Tiro e ke dirang. Sesupo sa teng ke eng? Given that I work so hard, why are there these high levels of dissatisfaction? I work so hard creating opportunities for employment. I work so hard doing the right training. I work so hard formulating appropriate policies. Why am I not having the desired impact? So is there sufficient critical examination of that which we do? I met one of the exhibition tables, young ladies telling me all the excellent things they're doing. So I said to them, the learners that come through your program, how many of them are absorbed? Do you have the data? And so they said, we do everything that we can to ensure that they're absorbed. Very good responses. Then I said, I've just met a mum here at the next table. And she says her child went through the programs of one of our programs, and he's sitting at home, and she wants to find out what should she do with that child. And she can't find anybody to talk to her. And she was right here, just outside. What do we do? What do we understand around impact? And who's following through on some of these issues? So these are just some of the questions that come up as I listen to the Commission reports. The report spoke of new requirements. The world is changing. How proactive are we as we design our programs? I spoke earlier about languages. Now, there's nothing worse. Uya kwagqirha. Kubuhlungu. Ufika kwagqirha akalithethi ilimi lakho. Awukwazi nokucacisa ukuthi uphethwe yintoni. Imagine, I'm told about the wonderful South Africa. I come all the way from Italy. I'm a 80-year-old, it's my retirement funding, and I want to enjoy 10 days in this country I've heard so much about. And I arrive at the airport, and there's nobody who can converse with me. There's no one who can give me direction. And so I spend my first few hours in this country I've been looking forward to coming to, spend all my retirement funds ensuring I do get to, and I get here and I can't find my feet because nobody can speak the language that I speak. Ondifika kwagqirha kwam, ndiphethe imali ndinikwe umntana ekhaya, andikwazi ukuthetha nogqirha. I get to a doctor. The doctor and I cannot converse. How does he know what's wrong with me? How will he hear what I'm feeling? How will he diagnose? How will he determine treatment? Because we never had a conversation. So how are we proactive in the nature of skills and in their content? Because it's not just about training. It's about impact, it's about effectiveness, it's about suitability. And I don't deny, we are all busy, right? We're all working really hard. No denying. There are millions of programs. So what is it actually? And how do we get to the heart of the matter is the question. So I think part of what I would like us to do in future summits is to really showcase what we're doing. I hope that in future what we'll do is be able to indicate that we've got stuff that works, and we've determined that that which works, we've identified A, B, and C, that we are going to expand into different parts of the country because we know it works and it will deliver the goods for our country and for our young people. Final point emerging from the inputs was the very important points that emerged from Commission 1. First one that struck me was the need to address spatial inequality. Now, we live with spatial apartheid, right? The spatial design of apartheid. And again, we need this new way of thinking to say, how do we confound it? How do we turn it around? Now, are we going to take the TVET college located in Soweto and move it to Sandton, and we call that addressing inequality? No. What we're going to do is make sure that that college in Soweto is the best of the colleges, because it has proper workshops, fully trained educators, very strong links with industry, and students know the machinery there is the most modern machinery that any person desiring to be an artisan will have access to. That's how you address spatial location. It's in the character of what you offer people. It's not the space where it is located, it is what it is designed to do and how it is supported to do the right thing. So we need to change the way we conceive of addressing inequality. Our SETAs, I'm told, some of them, not all, are building wonderful buildings, and they're building them in Sandton. They're not building them in Soweto and Mamelodi and Khayelitsha. That's a problem. It doesn't change spatial location. So don't come here and complain on a podium. Address the matters out there. All of us. So I certainly would be interested when we have discussions about how we're going to change the character of the society we work in. Because we do have the resources and the means to make those changes. And we need to be bold about them. The spaces where the majority of our people are have to look different. And it must be what we do that contributes to that difference. And I mean, Comrade Charlie and the things he was saying, Mr. Charlie, I should say Mr., not Comrade. Mr. Charlie and what he was saying, absolutely correct. We can't come into a room and be the ones who complain. You know, the people elected us as agents of change. So our work must be making a difference. And what we should be doing when we have summits like this, I should tell you one of the most exciting things I think in the next 2 years is implementation of the colleges of specialization. And I believe expanding that program is going to make a fundamental difference to the skills offerings that we offer young people. So it is my obligation to make the pilot work because I want to grow from there. I should be reporting on performance, on thinking beyond where I am. And I hope in future that's how we will use the summit and that we won't come here and complain. Because complaining is terrible. And there's so much happening out there which is great. How do we expand it? How do we grow it? How do we build on it? How do we use it as a foundation for a leap? That's where I would like to see us be. Then, of course, I am very, very interested in this notion and challenge of rural development. We have to change the look and feel of rural communities in our country. And we must identify what nature of interventions we would wish to put in place in terms of our domain of skills and training and enterprise formation and job creation. What character might these assume in rural areas? And of course, a significant base is agriculture. But it's not merely planting it is processing, it is canning, it is freezing, it is deciduous fruits, it is juices, it's a whole range of opportunities that we need to give life to. But we've got to think in different ways. Because we see the rural as poor cousins whose situation will not change. And we are more comfortable in the urban setting. We need to turn that around somewhat. I also think we need to be thinking in terms of emerging developments, such as mega cities. What does this mean in terms of how we conceive the built environment, in terms of how we see urban planning, in terms of how we see service provision, so that we see beyond the moment and look well into the future? What does smart cities mean? What do smart buildings mean? What does renewable energy mean? How do we develop, as we implement, an affinity between our role and what is being done by innovation centers, by researchers, by industry? These are the ways, I think, of drawing together, responding to the plethora of complexity that is our society. So the commissions have set out an important set of roads that we must traverse in order to address the many, many interesting and complex challenges confronting South Africa. So let me say that as government, we are fully alert to the many challenges that our country must overcome to accelerate progress and to build a more inclusive society. I'm now no longer reading my rough notes, I'm reading my department's speech. We've outlined what needs to be done in the Vision 2030 National Development Plan. And you would remember that what the NDP does very, very well, it does the diagnostic, right? And it proposes the solutions. So we've got it all in a very thick, important document, which most of us don't read. The plan is there. We now need concretely to devise those strategies that support implementation of that plan. Because I'm not sure we're going to get better than that. Because it really had a considered perspective and outlining of the things that we must do to achieve the shift toward inclusive growth and a more equal society. We've got to address the strategic goals that are in the NDP of lowering unemployment, of eliminating poverty, and of substantively reducing inequality by 2030. That's the road we're on. This summit has indeed created a forum in which all of us are learning, we're reflecting, we're engaging, and we're strengthening our own existing partnerships and building new ones in pursuit of these goals of the NDP. I think as we walk out of this room, hopefully we feel we've heard another call to action, which has rightly indicated that at the center of our efforts of developing and expanding the skills base of South Africa, there is us and the work that we do. Because indeed, as one colleague said when reporting, the real wealth of our country is our people. And for that wealth to be realized in practice, the work we do is imperative. Our country can certainly, with a skilled populace, do much more and achieve even greater things, which echoes the words that the former Deputy President and now our President Ramaphosa said at the second HRDC summit last year. I had occasion to brief the new Deputy President David Mabuza, on his role in the HRDC, because I've also just been briefed on my role in the HRDC now. And I told him, Deputy President, if you wish to become a president of South Africa in future, you must make sure you give serious attention to HRDC. Because I told him, one of the things I noted about HRDC was that Deputy President Ramaphosa never missed a meeting. So it means it was very good training ground for becoming a president. And I understand that he was here, so I suspect he took me seriously. So it's indeed true that skills grow an economy, that skills help to create jobs, that skills help to raise standards of living and reduce poverty as well as inequality. I hope that the recommendations we receive today will help contribute toward a better South Africa, in which progress, higher economic growth, and a better life for all move from being an aspiration and increasingly become a reality. You can't eat aspiration. You can't live on aspiration. It's good to have it, but reality is absolutely vital. Difference is necessary. I also undertake that we, as the Department of Higher Education and Training and the Ministry, will assiduously follow up on all the recommendations which have been made at this summit. We will present at its first meeting the reports of the summit to the Council, and we will recommend that the Executive Committee of Council should be asked to oversee implementation of these agreed outcomes. So we will support action, and we will oversee action. I'd like then to conclude by thanking all of you most sincerely for creating the time in what I know are very busy schedules, because we're all working, right? To be here, as well as to contributing to our very robust deliberations and contributing very strongly to building a better South Africa for all the people of our country. I look forward to meeting you again at the 4th HRDC Summit, and I hope at that time we will utilize it to showcase even more best practice than we've done at this meeting. So it's been great to listen in to you all, to learn from what you're doing. I am, as was asked, looking at the SETAs and exactly what we should have as the future model. In my own view, SETAs are a very important contributor to skills development, and we need to address exactly how we structure them. Should we have so many? What should their character be? But in no way would they not be an important vehicle for skills development. They've played an absolutely important role, and I think that link with industry that they have, because they come many from within it, is imperative to retain. So as we look at how we remodel and restructure, I think their future existence cannot be a matter of a question. So my thanks to you all, and I look forward to meeting you when we convene at the next summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. Can you give the Minister another round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. We were all ears. We heard the marching orders. The skills training and development demand a lot more from every one of us. And we have to discharge our responsibilities in a manner that makes a difference, in a manner that makes an impact. That's what the Minister is actually asking all of us to do. It would be very much important for us to ensure that we address self-imposed deficiencies in the system for us to be effective and efficient in the work that we are doing. Stop talking, stop complaining, stop fighting, and just do the work we are employed to do. Deputy Chair and Minister, you know, in the system, at times, you get a sense, really, of the abuse of the word comrade. I went to one institution, a lot of issues. We meet, we discuss issues. And everyone amongst us was saying, comrade, comrade, comrade. Man, at some point I said, no. Ladies and gentlemen, we must know who we are. As far as I know, in the entire system of higher education and training, there are only two comrades. It's the minister and the deputy minister. Every one of us is an employee. Our responsibility is role focused. You are employed to do a particular job. Let's just do the job we're employed to do. Then this country will be better. You are invited for lunch, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.